Next up, we have Command & Conquer General's 0 Hour soundtrack, the main menu Vanila from Command & Conquer 0 Hour. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I am a professionally trained musician. My objective here is to explain things in a way that non-professionally trained people can understand. So if you're not a professionally trained musician, my objective here is to explain things so that you can understand what is happening musically. If you like that, make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel because this is going up on the YouTube. And with that said, let's go. Let's do this. Main menu Vanilla. Let's go. Okay, let me play this a little bit more. Okay, so we have, we're going to play this back a couple of seconds. We have this concept of delay. We start with the guitars playing a rhythm. Then the orchestra starts playing the same rhythm, but they're a little bit delayed. I don't know if this is because they're in a different tempo or if they are just designed to be like that to make it sound like they are delayed. Tempo, of course, being the concept of how fast the measures go. The measure of music is however long it takes for a certain amount of notes to happen. Tempo is also known as BPM, beats per minute. Nowadays, because we have more precise instruments, now it's that, because it used to be tempo. We used to have many different ways of being expressed, usually in sheet music. I'm blanking on the terms right now. But there you go. So right now, I don't know if it's because the guitar track and the other ones have different tempo. It doesn't seem like it, but they are not entirely synced up. So let me hear this back. Let me go back a couple of seconds. So it sounds like they're separated. Oh, this is really cool. We have the guitar playing a syncopated riff. Syncopation, a syncopated riff. Syncopation. Syncopation is when you play against the beat. Syncopation is very famous in funk, for example. When you have that funk, reggae, ska, these ones that you don't play along the beat, you play against the beat. Because, you know, when you have a beat, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you add syncopation, let's say my clicking here is the beat, it gives you this sense of like you're leaping, you're hopping. It gives you that. And right now we're having this with a very low guitar riff. It's really cool. They're like orchestra guitar combined, only bringing the gears. Good. So yeah, you have the guitar here going against the beat with the percussion there. Oh, with the orchestra, and now we're having the call and response. Call and response, of course, being this very common term that we've been using, where one instrument does a call, which is they do something, or one group of instruments, because in this case, I think it was strings and sounded like a marimba, either a marimba or a xylophone, and the guitar responds with something else, and they go back and forth. You have one instrument, one line doing one thing, immediately followed by something else. Let's see it. Yes, and you have some percussions with some of the strings keeping up that beat in the background, while the guitar is taking front and center. This is really cool. We go to the motif. And yes, we have the orchestra playing the motif while the guitar is bringing in that really cool riff. Motif, of course, being the essential, smallest version of your musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from. Really cool. I'm really loving this. I really love it. Like, just as a concept, it's so much fun. And now we have another guitar with a more extended, a pure riff. Oh, bring in the drums. Bring in that moshing. Orchestra's out. And when it comes to this kind of music, when you make rock or metal with an orchestra, a lot of the times you want them to be layered on top of one another. I like how this right now is pitting one against the other. Two types of ensembles fighting against each other for the playtime, for the focus. This is really cool. This is really cool. I like it. I like it. Panning on the ears. Plus this echoing. Yeah, like right now it's the turn of the band. It's the turn of the band. Let's see what the orchestra responds with. This is really fun, a really fun riff. Oh, there you go. Okay, so we bring in the brass from the orchestra to counter the rock band. Brass instruments, of course, being some of the more risky instruments that you can use. You know, those are your trumpets, trombones, tubas, to some extent French horns. Got about 72 French horns. Yeah, so it sounds like we have French horns with maybe tubas and trombones, and it's not an issue, it's a risk that you assume when you have brass instruments in your ensemble, is that they can very easily overwhelm the entirety of an ensemble. Like, you can have one trombone completely play louder than everyone else in an orchestra. So having that be the instruments that are here to counter and to almost like interrupt the rock band that they're doing their thing, clever. It's the most bombastic instruments. And what is happening also with this is, despite the fact that these are not in that higher range, because they are so different in texture, it's giving them what I like to call the effect of a flying melody. You're having the rock band, you have the guitars, you have the bass, you have the drums doing their thing down here, and you have this brass instrument with a way simpler, way less busy melody, having this, I think it's French horns, just playing a very simple melody on top, and it gives you this feeling that you're flying above a landscape, a very complex, very busy landscape, and you're just soaring through. It's a very, very cool concept. It works so nicely, and it's just super effective. Let's continue. Now we bring the orchestra to answer, and we have some of the residuals of the guitar still in the back. Really cool. And now we bring both together. Oh, this is really cool. There's no drum there, it's still just the guitar. So we now flip the script. When we had the guitar and the rock band doing the ensemble thing, and they were jamming along and everything, and we had the one orchestral instrument, now we flipped it. Now we have the full orchestra doing their thing, doing this more. So we have the rock band doing the badass part of this, and we have the orchestra doing the more elegant, more refined, more grandiose element of this. So these are two types of badass happening at the same time. They're badass in their own way, and I like how they always keep the element of one, because we are having that distorted guitar still in the back while the orchestra is doing everything, while we had that French horn playing while the band was doing its own thing. But as opposed to the French horn when this was doing the flying melody, the guitar is kind of just trapped in the back, not being able to really stand out as much because the orchestra is doing so much more right now. Let's continue. We switch back. And we switch back. Really good drop, yeah. And again with the brass. We revisit this off with this thing. Snares. again, as I've said many times, if you want to build a strong climax, just make it quieter. We went from this awesome, badass, just very loud rock band, metal, just strumming along, having a good old time with the guitars, to this now more quiet, just a snare, an orchestral snare. An orchestral snare is usually going to sound very different from a rock band snare or like a band snare. Even though they're fairly similar, they're very, very similar instruments, just usually how they're played. Still giving you this sense of military. But now we have these strings, the violins, the violas, just playing very slow, very simple, very legato. Legato being the opposite of staccato. When staccato with one C or two T, with two C's or two T's? I always forget which one it is. I think it's staccato with two T's. But the point is, legato is when you let the yes, yeah, I always forget. So you have legato, which is basically you just let the notes play out. You let the instruments play out the notes as long as possible. And staccato is when it's short. When it's short and very dotty, like you're putting a dot in it, like you're flickering, and it's very short and everything. These are opposites. And right now we're having these strings, this legato strings. And again, going back to the concept of climax, you're building up, and a very good way of releasing all that tension is to just completely take everything away and bring in something nice and quiet. You know, I like doing the fact that you take pretty much everything except one instrument. And that one instrument is extremely quiet. And it gives you that sense of not just whiplash, but it's a lot more powerful, because now you go from this grandiose feeling to a more emotional, individual level. It's really cool, and they're doing something like that right now with this like super majestic, like almost like going through the halls with these synths, I think, like a chorus in the background. And back we go. Back we go to the riff. So structurally, this has been very, very much a. Oh, I took away the letters. A rondo. Structurally speaking, this has been pretty much a rondo. When it comes to music, there are structures that you can have, and in a rondo, like we had the intro, where we had the guitars come in. Then we had section A. Section A has been the rock band playing that good old riff. Then we had section B with the orchestra doing their thing. Then we came back to section A with the rock band doing their thing. Pretty much the same. I think we might have had a little bit of variation. When that happens, we call it prime. So A prime. Then we went on to piece C by the orchestra, doing something completely different in response. And then we went back to A, maybe A prime, maybe A double prime, to going back around. Really effective because of that. And now we are probably in section D. Or the outro. I think it's the outro. Yeah, it's the outro. So there we go. We finish kind of how we started. Very cool. And as we can do next educational about the structures, instruments, elements. Kind of. So there you go. That was really fun. That was really fun. So yeah, one of the reasons why I don't want to go too deep into the music theory is that my objective here is that you don't need to, you don't need that to understand this. Of course, there are so many things that are happening, and the problem with doing a full-on educational thing is that I would have to sit down and properly study these things. So guitar goes brrr, horns go boom, and the whole orchestra went incredible. Really, really cool use of the rondo. Really good use of a rondo. We just kept coming back to that really badass rock band. Really, really fun. But we also came back to the orchestra having this majestic, two different types of badass meeting and having a song together. That was really, really fun. There you have it. That was the main menu Vanilla from the Command & Conquer Generals 0 Hour soundtrack. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. We recorded this live on stream, and I forgot to say that we pause a lot in these. And yes, if you like this and you're watching on the YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. At the time of recording, we're almost very, very close to 500 subscribers. I am very happy that we're starting to grow the channel like this. So make sure you're subscribed, that you like the video, you share the video, join the Discord, because everything gets announced there. And if you want to request a song and you're watching this from the YouTube, just leave a comment, drop a comment, let me know what track from what game. Game original music only, so game OSTs only, for copyright and other reasons. So there you have it. That was Command & Conquer General 0 Hour. Really fun, dude. Really fun. But let's move on.